Yeah, okay, the New York Times, I know, it's a rag, right? It's a former newspaper. It was just the first one that came up. I do believe this headline, though, 100%. McCarthy, facing an ouster and a shutdown, orders an impeachment inquiry. Okay, so I guess enough pressure was put on him and the coming government shutdown, the spending bill that has to be passed, right? Something always gets done when this comes up. It's a big negotiating tool. At this point, we should not be having an impeachment inquiry on former Vice President Joe Biden. That should not be where we are at. He should have already been impeached. I know it won't do anything, right? Like, realistically speaking, it's going to go to the Senate, dead on arrival. Yeah, okay, I know that. But for the crimes that he has committed, impeaching him is the right thing to do. It's not just evidence now. There's proof, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he is guilty of selling his office, of selling access to him as a government official, high-ranking one, vice president. The United States should not be for sale. We've had all of this evidence for God, how long now? I mean, we've had theories on it for years. The evidence has really started to pile up. There's enough evidence here to convict a criminal. The fact that we're going to have an inquiry into impeachment. The old saying, better late than never, it only goes so far, because when you show up 3 days late for an appointment, that's not better late than never. That's why you're here. We are well past the point where we should be having an impeachment inquiry. And that little weasel right there on the screen, he's out for himself. He's deep state, uniparty. And it took this to get him to just have an inquiry on impeachment. I think a lot of them were pulling on the reins, the reins that they put on him when they gave him Speaker of the House. And apparently they had to pull pretty hard to get him to do the right thing that should have been done a long time ago. Sure, it's good, I guess. But having to pull teeth on this to ultimately do something that's really not going to have much of an effect, like, that's where we are now. That's what it takes to get him to do the right thing, even when the right thing doesn't really matter. You look into the evidence and you find out if they committed the crime. Well, lo and behold, he freaking committed multiple crimes. He has sold his position for years now, and it appears as though he still is. And his family benefits from that. The United States doesn't. Selling access. Selling us out. And if this is what it takes to get him, that little dirtbag, to do the right thing, he ain't the one, man. In fact, I will go ahead and say that most of the Republican Party, they aren't the ones either. They like to play the long game, the strategic game, They like to look what they can get for this or for that. They like to weigh what the people they represent, sent them there for, versus what they can get. That's what they do. So I don't care if he does the right thing at this point or not. If this is what it takes to do the right thing that really won't have any consequences, when it comes to doing the right thing with major consequences, there is no way he's capable of that. There is no way he's capable of sacrifice of any kind. And by sacrifice, I mean sacrificing something to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I'm not talking about negotiating. I'm not talking about trade. I'm talking about sacrificing personally to do the right thing. And that goes for 99% of the people in the Capitol building with him. And I use the word people loosely because they are dirtbags. And all these little back and forths, these negotiations, and then we get news like this, like we're supposed to be happy about this. You are beyond late. That's what we're up against. We're supposed to be happy. Oh, good. Impeachment inquiry, finally. The elections next year. I would almost argue that the Democrats are probably kind of done with Joe Biden at this point. So now it's safe to hit Biden with impeachment inquiries or critical articles because he's almost outlived his usefulness as the sock puppet that he is. That's not a Republican, that's uniparty. So the politician you need to vote for probably isn't going to look or sound like a politician. You got any ideas of anybody that's running that's not a career politician? Vote for them. Because at this point, if you don't vote for a non-politician, I can almost guarantee you're voting for the wrong person.